Hi, welcome to Hot Chocolate Hits. Today I'm going to show you one of my favorite desserts. This is a caramel chocolate crunch tart. So what it is, it's basically a layer of shortcrust pastry topped off with caramel and then chocolate and then caramelized nuts. It's so simple and so delicious. This recipe is perfect for Thanksgiving, which is why I'm collaborating with some of my foodie friends. Classy Cooking with Chef Stef, Simply Baking, Keenness Baking, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and the Divine Hostess. You can click the link to their videos in the description box down below, or you can stay tuned till the end of the video. But now let's get started with making this awesome tart.
To 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, add a half cup of confectioner's sugar, followed by half a teaspoon of salt. You're just going to mix those ingredients together. I'm using a pastry blender or pastry cutter, but you can use your food processor. Next, add in 9 tablespoons of cold butter, the colder the better, and you just want to cut this into the flour mixture. Cold butter accounts for the pastry's nice and crumbly texture, so you make sure you add that. Now we're going to add in 1 egg yolk. This is for a nice richness that you just can't achieve with that egg white. Cut that in as well, and to speed up the process, like I said, you can use a food processor. After a while, I will go in with my hands just to kind of bring the dough together. Make sure that you touch it as little as possible because working it too much will cause its temperature to increase. Take the dough bit by bit and press it onto the bottom of a 9-inch tart shell with a removable base. A removable base makes everything so much easier. Do this as evenly as you can. When you're done with that, you're going to place the tart into the freezer for 30 minutes, and when it comes out, press a piece of buttered aluminum foil butter side down onto the tart and just press it as tightly as you can. Now into a preheated 180°C oven for about 30 minutes or until golden brown. Now we're going to make the caramelized nuts, so combine half a cup of granulated sugar with a 1/3 cup of water in a saucepan. Bring these ingredients to a boil, and then you're going to add in some nuts. This is 1 cup of nuts. I'm using a combination of blanched hazelnuts with peanuts, and I will leave a link to how to make blanched hazelnuts in the description below. Once the sugar syrup has come to a boil, you're going to add in the nuts and just kind of stir those in. You could use any nut you like, pecans, walnuts, they would go great. These are just the ones that I like. Now you can swirl the pan, but make sure not to stir it too much. If your sugar crystallizes, don't worry because it will eventually melt down and then it'll turn a beautiful amber color. Immediately when it reaches that color, you're going to take the pan off the heat and stir in 1 tablespoon of butter, just let that melt, and quickly pour this mixture onto a tray that has been lined with parchment paper. Make sure to do this as quickly as possible because otherwise the nuts will start hardening on the pan. Just spread them out as best as you can and let them harden for a good 30 minutes before you break them apart. Now after those 30 minutes are up, you can give them a quick tap to see if they're nice and solidified. You can see that they peel off so easily. Break the nuts into small pieces. You can also chop them up if you'd like. These would be great served alone as well because they're so good. Now we're going to make the caramel that goes inside the tart, so combine half a cup of granulated sugar with 1 tablespoon of corn syrup into a saucepan and place the saucepan on medium heat. Unlike most caramel recipes, this caramel recipe you can just keep stirring that sugar mixture until it turns that deep golden color, and then you're going to add in 4 tablespoons of butter and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream and just stir it together vigorously to combine. Then just pour it onto that tart shell that you had baked before. And one more tip for the caramel, you can also just melt it down on low heat if you find that the cream and the caramel separates. Just spread the caramel out a bit, and you can also top it with some sea salt, which gives it a nice sweet and salty flavor. Now cool completely while we make the ganache. All you want to do is break up about 5 ounces, this is roughly 110-120 grams, then pour on 3/4 cup of hot heavy cream. I just heated it for a minute in the microwave and let it sit for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you can take a spatula or a whisk or whatever and just kind of fold it through until it's nice and smooth. How easy was that? Once the caramel is nice and cool and set, you're going to spoon on the chocolate. Now you can notice that my caramel wasn't set, and that's because I have no patience at all. And to be honest, it didn't matter that much because it still tasted amazing. Once you're satisfied with the chocolate layer, you can just top the tart off with the nuts. No special decorating skills required. You're going to place the tart into the refrigerator for a minimum of 2 hours, I'd say. Yes, I know, more waiting, and for me who is not patient, that was not pleasant. But trust me, it's worth it because the tart just cuts so beautifully. The crust is soft and the nuts complement the caramel and chocolate layers perfectly. Tell me you don't want that at your Thanksgiving table. While this tart is a little bit unconventional for Thanksgiving, it sure is a crowd pleaser and everyone is bound to love it. And how can you not? I guarantee that one bite will lead to many, many more. Thanks you guys for watching. I really hope you give this tart recipe a try, and if you do, don't forget to let me know how it turns out. For some more Thanksgiving inspiration, don't forget to check out some of these videos that my other friends made. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you'd like this video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.